As you can see, I made some mistakes while taking these mirrors down. Don't be like me, guys. So what you're gonna need is a heat gun. If you don't have that, you can use a hair dryer. The first thing I did was figure out where my adhesive is. Mine was on the top and the bottom, so we're putting the heat gun to those two spots so the glue on the adhesive can loosen up. You're gonna want to do this for at least a minute or two. Touch it to see if it is cool enough to hold or touch. What I used was a ruler to sort of get up under the mirror, and I'm using that ruler to act as like a separator, I guess. Separate the wall from the adhesive, if that makes sense. So now what I'm doing is taking this little hammer and I'm hammering the ruler. I'm like trying to get the ruler up in there to make it easier for the adhesive to separate from the wall while the adhesive is still warm from the heat gun. So you can see that the mirror is loosening up. So my mistake here was not warming up the top adhesive more. So the bottom adhesive came off pretty well. It came off of the mirror versus coming off of the wall. But that's kind of your goal because you don't want to rip a piece of the wall out the way the top adhesive did. So what you're going to do in that situation is heat the top one more. If it's still sticking like that, heat the top one a little bit longer so you don't rip out the wall. This is what you're aiming for. I'm basically just repeating the same process for each mirror.
Period.
Keep in mind that you can have a situation like this where you heat up the mirror really good and it just slides off the wall. So just be careful. I would suggest putting like a towel or a blanket or something soft for the mirror to land on in case it falls off the wall. The trash ones. So this is how my wall ended up looking after all of my trial and errors. Some of them came off really nicely, a lot of them didn't. This is how it looked after I filled in all of the holes with this, and I used this putty knife to put the filler on the wall. I didn't get to actually film it, but this is basically how I did it. I squeezed the hole filler onto the wall a decent amount, and then I took the putty knife and smeared it all over the hole. And I was lucky enough to find one that matched the exact color of my wall, so it dried the same color. Now what you're gonna do is paint over the putty spots, but I didn't actually end up filming this part because my paint was much whiter than the walls, so it kind of looked a little cray. But when you are done smearing the putty on the wall and it dries, I would suggest that you paint over it to give it like a smooth and clean finish. And that's it. I hope this video was helpful to you, and thank you for watching.